You are listening to the Love and Money podcast, and today I'm going to talk to you about what the 1% is. Okay, so my philosophy is how do you aspire to be something if you have never even heard of it before? So, in my series of podcasts, my mission is to expose you to things that you're not familiar with and to expose you to people doing things that you're not familiar with. So I'm available here visually, but if you're really busy and you would like to multitask, I'm also available by audio. And you can hear me on audio. If you go to your phone, the purple icon, and hit the Love and Money podcast, and you'll find me there and you can just hear me talking there. So basically, the top 1%, it can either be defined as the income that you have or the net worth that you have. They have it broken down into numbers. And so if you are in a household, according to your income, you would be in the 1% if you're making $531,020. That's a household. If you're single, you would be considered the top 1% if you make $361,020. That's income. Now, the way people usually define the top 1% is by net worth, not income. So, according to the net worth definition of the 1%, the 1% has a net worth of ding, 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 11,099 and 166. That's the net worth of the 1%, 11 million. So while I'm interviewing people on the podcast, I interview millionaires and multimillionaires. And I came across a guy that I was interviewing who mentioned that he is in the 1%. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. So I'm just interviewing another millionaire. Come to find out, no, they are in a totally different category. So a millionaire is actually considered the top 10%, not the top 1%. So there's a difference between a millionaire and a one percenter. So millionaires are nowhere near close of the one percenters. You would actually take the $1 million, multiply it by 11, and then you get to a one percenter. So I find that very interesting because, like I said before, how can you aspire to be something that you've never even heard of before? Like, I've only heard of it because I interview people and I just came across one. So, not only the one percenter, but also the term multimillionaire. I was not familiar with that either before I started interviewing people. I've heard of millionaires, but not multimillionaires. So that's why I love podcasting because I am coming across all kinds of different people doing all kind of different things on all different kind of levels. And so while I'm being exposed to them, I would like to expose you to them simultaneously. So that is a one percenter. They have a net worth of 11 million. And the definition of net worth is the sum of all your assets minus your debts. So a net worth of, say for example, you're looking at a millionaire and their net worth is $1 million. So what that means is when you take all of their assets minus all of their debts, the total is 1 million. So it doesn't mean that they have $1 million cash. It means that if they liquidate their assets, then they would have $1 million. And so that is the definition of net worth. So I just wanted to break that down, what a one percenter is, and the fact that a millionaire is actually considered the top 10%. I find that very interesting that you are aspiring to one level, but there are higher levels. Every time you get to one level, there's another level, and then there's another level, another level, another level. So that I find that very interesting. So they break it down into there's about four different categories. There is the 10 percenter who has a net worth of 1.2 million. There is a 2 percenter who has a net worth of 6.5 million. The 1 percenter has a net worth of 11 million. And then there is a level higher than the 1 percenter called the 0.10 percenter. Um, 0.10 percenter. They may call that the 10th percenter. So I'm not really sure if it's called the 0.10 or the 1/10th percenter. All I know is that it's not something in normal vocabulary that you hear. But when you look it up, you'll find it. It says 0.10%. And there the net worth to reach that is 43 million. So I find that very interesting, the different levels and how those levels are broken down. And so the first step would be getting to that millionaire point. And at that point, you would be considered the top 10%. And then from that point on, if you desire, you can aspire to higher levels. There's always a higher level. And I find that to be very interesting, just to know what a one percenter is. How often do you run across a one percenter or even know what a one percenter is or even care what a one percenter is? I have one right on my podcast and I could care less because I didn't even know what it is. I just considered him another millionaire to, to group in with other millionaires that I already have on there. So I just find that very interesting. And I named my podcast the Love and Money Podcast because I believe that both are important. Love is important. Having healthy relationships is important, and having money is important. So what is the point of having money if you don't have anybody to share it with? And it doesn't necessarily have to be uh, a mate or a spouse, but just someone who generally loves you and who has your best interests um, in mind. So, with this podcast, I intend to expose you to people who have strong relationships and who have strong financial stability to give you tips and make you think about things that you may not have thought about. And while I'm being exposed, I plan to expose you simultaneously. So I really hope that you enjoy the podcast and that you would share it with other people. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button on your way out and the share button. Now, this is the Love and Money Podcast. Thank you for listening.